Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you may or may not know, on this channel I aim to educate people about property in the UK. So if you are new here, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with my new videos. Today I want to share with you the secrets behind a typical estate agent's salary and how the estate agency business works. This may be insightful to anyone looking to get into property, people potentially looking to sell their home, or for anyone who loves smashing that like button. Let us begin. Firstly, an estate agent typically refers to the frontline person who is in the office, picks up the phone, speaks with you, books in the viewing and meets you at the property with the hopes that you will love it and put an offer on it straight away. These people are called negotiators. Sometimes they'll give themselves fancy titles such as property consultants. This is the first step in the estate agency world. This is actually a great stepping stone for anyone looking to get into property. It will give you a basic understanding of property, how transactions work, and it will give you more confidence when speaking with people. That being said, the hours are usually long and tedious. It's 6 days a week, and from my personal experience, it's often a toxic environment to work in because everyone is constantly competing against each other to outperform their colleagues, to show everyone how good of a salesperson they are. You're also constantly judged and measured by targets set by bosses who have targets set by bosses who have targets set by their bosses who also have targets, and there's a never-ending cycle of corporate hierarchy. So if that tickles your fancy, then let's talk salaries. Starting off as a negotiator, you'll have something called a basic salary. This will be very low, sometimes even as low as £12,000 a year, but this will depend on where you are in the country and which company you work for. From my experience, it's usually around £15,000 a year in London. On top of your salary, you get commission for every property that exchanges or completes depending on the company you work for. This is an important point to stress because it's not as easy as just having the seller accept an offer and then you get paid that month. The process must be managed from start to finish, which normally takes a few months, and then when the transaction is legally binding, you normally get paid the month later. The commission also varies depending on what your employer offers you or what kind of package you negotiate. Typically, estate agents will get a commission of 10% of the fee to the office. Here's how it all works. The branch manager, assistant branch manager, or lister will attend an appointment with someone looking to sell their home. The purpose of this appointment is to look around the home, sit down with a cup of tea and some hobnobs, and discuss with the seller how much they think the property could sell for in the current market. They also try to sell themselves and explain why they should be the agents of choice. Lastly, a fee is discussed. This is the fee that the seller will pay the agent for a successful transaction. Fees will vary, but normally they're negotiable. In my time as an estate agent, my manager would average a fee of around 2%. But again, this varies. It can be 1% or it could be 1.5%. It could be higher than 2%. This meant that if a negotiator sold a house for £500,000, the fee to the office would be 2% of that, which was £10,000. The negotiator who sold it would get 10% of the £10,000, which was £1,000. As a negotiator, you could also make extra commission from referring business within the company, such as passing on survey leads, for example. But over the year, this might add up to about 30 Starbucks coffees, hardly worth the time, but try telling that to your corporate bosses. The problem with starting at an estate agency is the time lag of getting your first commission. You have to be prepared to take home a basic salary for the first few months. From there on, you manage what is known as your pipeline. As you accumulate deals, your pipeline grows, and then you can plan your life ahead based on when those deals should go through. If a deal falls apart before it's legally binding, you don't get paid, which is frustrating because sometimes it's not in your control. Let's assume you make a basic salary of £15,000. You would need to sell £17.5 million worth of property at a 2% fee with 10% commission to make a £50,000 salary. And that's a lot of property. That brings me to my next point. Area is important. If you work in a very expensive area, you could literally sell 2 houses worth that and get the same amount as someone working in a less expensive area needing to sell 10 houses. However, it's important to consider the type of clients you would have and how often these properties actually sell. In my experience, selling more luxury property is harder because there is less of a market out there for it. What isn't hard though is smashing that like button. This is why you need the following traits to be a good estate agent. The ability to extract key facts from a person easily, be money-driven, resilient, thick-skinned, motivated, hardworking, and you can't be too nice. With the increase in online estate agencies that charge a one-off fee for selling a property, that fee, a lot lower than paying commission, one must ask themselves, why would I go to a high street estate agent? The answer is simple: motivation. The The difference with online agencies is that you pay a one-off fee regardless of whether your property sells or not. With a high street agency, you only pay the fee once the transaction goes through. The other difference is that for the exact reason I mentioned earlier, you have a dedicated team of negotiators fighting to try sell your property for the highest price possible, because the more they sell it for, the more they get paid. To summarise, if you're in London making around £35,000 a year as a negotiator, I'd say you're doing well. If you're getting about £50,000 a year, you're doing extremely well. In very rare cases, I've heard of negotiators doing in excess of £100,000 a year, but they're the type of people that can sell you a woolly hat and gloves while you're laying on a beach in the Bahamas. If you're ever browsing jobs and see estate agent advertisements saying that there's a chance to make £100,000 OTE, remember, that's probably bull-doo-doo. That sums up my video. Sorry to anyone who thought that being an estate agent and selling houses makes you really rich. Far from it. But like I said, if you do want to get into the property world, I would say it's a great way to start and learn the basics. From there, you can kind of move on into other aspects like surveying, commercial property, industrial property, kind of anything you put your mind to, really. If you like the video, don't forget to hit that like button and follow me on Instagram for more nuggets of information. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.